Okay, I'm ready to put my binding around my mug rug. I've cut my binding to be 2 1/4 inches long by whatever length you need to get all the way around your mug rug. I don't have the measurement here in front of me, but I did actually test it out and make sure I had some excess. The excess helps make it easier to attach it smoothly. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to leave about a 3-inch, I'm actually going to start on the bottom so it's a little less noticeable. I'm trying to decide. I'm going to leave a 3 to 4 inches loose, and then I'll start sewing with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You can do a 1/4 inch seam allowance with your normal foot, or if you have a 1/4 inch foot that came with your sewing machine, I suggest breaking it out. A lot of machines come with it, some don't. Mine did, so I'm going to use it. So again, I've got a pretty good tail here. Actually, I'm going to move it down. And I'm going to back stitch as I go. We're going to be mitering the corners. So in order to get ready for that, I'm going to take my tail, and while holding it down, I'm going to fold it so it's to the outside and it runs along with the bottom of my mug rug here. You'll see that it's at a 45-degree angle there. Then I'm going to hold that down and go back the other direction and fold it down so it's equal with my mug rug side there. What this does is it creates a triangle of fabric here in the corner, and that's going to help us have really nice mitered corners. So you try and get as close as you can to that fold without going over it. I'm going to back stitch a few, and then I'll cut my stitches and go to the next side. So now I'm going to move my triangle out of the way and start again really close to that fold, as close as I can get it. And then before I get to my next corner, I'm going to do the same thing where you fold it and it's a 45-degree angle pointing towards the corner. And then back the other way so it's equal with the side of your mug rug. I'm going to pick up that extra fabric into a peak, and then I'll sew as close as I can down to it. Okay, now I've turned again, and I'm going to start as close as I can to that fold. As I get close to my corner, I'll make this corner. So I go the outside, back to the middle, and push my triangle up, and then back down the opposite direction so I can get as close as I can. This really just takes a little bit of practice. If you want to make some napkins for somebody or a little quilt hanging, those are all good places to practice. Or mug rugs, lots of mug rugs. All right, I've got one more corner. So fold it out, and then back. Pick up my extra fabric and push it out of the, or fold it out of the way. So on this last side, you'll see the extra where I started and the extra from this whole side. So I'm gonna wanna keep this corner intact. I'm gonna clip it, my extra fabric out of the way. But then I'm gonna lay my other two pieces of binding down until they meet. And you'll want them to meet smoothly, but without like pulling this or without any gaps here. Just smoothly is the best way to describe it. And then what you're actually gonna do is open your binding up and pin right where they meet. So that's what I've done here. Then you can pick this up and straighten it out so they meet at the top and the bottom. I probably should have changed my foot, but I'm a little lazy. I still have my 1/4 inch piecing foot. That's okay, it's just, you know. Now you're gonna wanna sew this straight down without any wrinkles in it. I've got a wrinkle here, so I'm gonna try and straighten that out. So then you can see that the binding is a pretty good fit, so you can trim your extra. Don't be like me. Keep your scissors close to your sewing table or your sewing machine. So I'm going to trim the extra seam allowance. If you want to spend the time, you can go take this over and press that seam open so it lays nicely, or you can be lazy like me. So you can see now that it's a nice join. It's going to lie flat. I'm going to start back up in this corner as close as I can to the fold and finish it here. All right, so my binding is all sewed on, and the next step is to fold it to the back and fold it back and hand stitch the binding down. You can fold it back and clip it and then stitch in the ditch, but I find that like while it is quicker, it doesn't look, it's harder to control what the back looks like. So take a few minutes, watch the next video, and I'll show you how to hand stitch the back of your binding on. It's gonna look really nice, and you can watch a TV show while you do it, I promise.